Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for kickoffs and kick-ons.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, thank you, Swoop. Yes, g'day and welcome to the KOKO Show. Yes, it is kickoffs and kick-ons. Now, based on raw statistics, it is South Africa's favourite rugby union podcast. And we're actually going to switch this logo. We're going to go a deep dark green into a yellow.
Oh, okay.
We are going full Cape Town. Week 2 of the Rugby Championship is done, and with the results written into World Rugby's results ledger, they are as follows. The All Blacks pulled down Los Pumas Dax and kicked them around like a hacky sack. 30 years in a row they've won in Auckland. 30 years in a row.
You liked that, didn't you? You
30.
paused a little bit.
Yeah, I
You
enjoyed
wanted
that
more
little
from
rhyme.
us?
Nah, well, I got a little something from Ollie. I
Yeah.
think he helped me write it. That's why. 30 years seems like a long time to win
30
in a
years is
row.
a
Is it a
long
long
time,
time in rugby? Or
No, it's a long time in anything, mate.
last time they lost, guess the team they lost to?
France?
Yeah, it was France. Yeah.
Oh, you're kidding.
How'd you know that? Did
It was
say that on the
94
weekend?
or something like that?
All right, Springboks were a bit slow out of the blocks, but eventually also pulled down the Wallabies Jocks to reveal their massive inadequacies in defence. See,
I like it. I knew where you were going.
maybe I'm a bit off this week. I
No,
don't know.
you're good.
But improvement from the boys in gold nonetheless. Do we all agree?
Yes.
Very good. We'll get into that. Last week we lost by 26 points. This week we lost by 18 points, which means by my calculations, the first match against South Africa in the 2026 TRC, we get a win.
Can't wait.
By how
So-
much? According to your
Is it
maths.
3, Tom? 2, we'll get a win by 2. So
What do
I
you
look
need?
forward to that. Big thanks to the Boks Office last week, boys. That episode went gangbusters.
Yeah.
We did a collab with them.
It's good to chat to the boys.
Really good to chat to them.
They were grateful. They were very, very grateful.
Kind of,
Yeah, absolutely.
Of
They
our
love you,
hospitality.
Yeah, like we were doing them a favour. Is that what you mean?
Absolutely. Mate, their numbers went through the roof.
Absolutely. Also, big thanks to everybody that's been watching our match reviews. They're a lot of fun for us. All 4 of us really enjoy doing them.
Oh, they're great. We should keep doing them.
You were a little
Jeez,
bit cranky.
his energy's low.
Yeah.
We've just got to let everyone know. Holiday Sweet, we're in Perth together. I just feel he's a little off. You'll get there.
Yeah.
You'll be right.
Warming up.
All right. Tommy's written a few little introductions for you boys.
Okay.
Oh,
Uh,
intros are back, are they?
yeah.
Oh,
Decided to do some work, did you, Tom?
a bit of side eye from Tommy. These could be a bit curly, I reckon.
Oh, jeez. All right. They are based on the theme today is, what is it? Sorry?
Oh, I love
UFC
that.
submissions. You boys have just got
That's a
back
great one. Well done,
from the
Tommy.
UFC.
Well done, Tom.
First of all, our rear naked choke. When it comes to this bloke, we all know he does his best work in a birthday suit. So the sheer idea of this guy approaching from the rear, wearing nothing but a smile and putting you gently to sleep is everyone's idea of a perfect holiday activity. So please welcome the bloke that may stop the blood rushing to your head, but will definitely send it somewhere else. So tap out. Don't tap out when it's certainly time to tap in. It's, of course, Mr. Adam Ashley Cooper, the rear
Yeah,
naked
that's a nice
choke.
one.
Absolute, yeah.
That's
The
a nice one.
rear choke.
But to face submission.
Ooh.
In a world where glutes are often overlooked as one's weapons of choice, this next bloke has so much junk in his trunk he can't help but use it to inflict both pleasure and pain. Any person worth their salt that has seen this man don a pair of budgie smuggers would be lying if they said that they had never wished this bloke would park himself on their chest. Use a little oil and twist and turn their lower extremities. It is, of course, North Bondi's Booty of the Year, Mr. Drew Mitchell.
Thank you, fellas. Also my submission of choice as well when I want to tap out.
Is the
The butt
Or tap in.
the butt to face. Isn't that a great
North
thing?
Bondi booty.
The anaconda choke. Obviously you,
Here we go.
my friend down the end. I mean, what more needs to be said? This fella has the biggest crowbar in the capital. After this bloke has grappled you on the ground, found his range and located the jab.
Yeah, love a jab.
He then forces you to the ground, then gently ties his manhood around your neck, and he lets the anaconda do the rest. This pint-sized python handler is packed full of violence and venom. So please put your hands together
Yeah, I like it.
for snake submission sensation, Mr. Matt Giddo. Well done,
Thanks.
Tommy. Thank you.
Anaconda
Tommy.
don't. What is it?
One
Anaconda
don't want none, son.
Unless
You got buns, hun.
You got buns, hon.
Yeah.
Oh.
The anaconda wants me.
Oh, I reckon it could be that face to bum stuff.
Now I've got written here. How was the? I've got written here. How was the weekend? We'll do Drew first because I think you might be a little duo. You two?
Yeah.
Goit and
Well, we
Swoop.
are.
How was the weekend, Drew?
Good weekend. Yeah, I went for lunch with Charlotte on Saturday. Just another quiet little lunch.
How much did you spend?
Yeah, 714 I think was the bill. It's just wine. Wine's bloody expensive.
Just one, is it?
Well, I mean, obviously.
Would you call that lunch then?
Well, I mean, no. Obviously, we ate, but the wine is where it kicks up.
Well, how much wine?
Well, there's a bottle of wine. I think it was 160 nicker, but you probably get it for 30 at a bottle shop.
Was it a nice little Chablis?
No, I don't know. It's something from New Zealand.
Doesn't taste the same if it's 30 though.
Yeah, no.
I'd rather pay the extra.
Yeah.
Where was this joint? Just so I can avoid it.
Catalina.
Sorry?
Beautiful place. Catalina down
Oh, one
at
of the greats.
Rose Bay. Yeah.
Sounds expensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking Catalina.
Where'd you sit? Out on the balcony? On the deck?
No, not the balcony, just inside. But so we had the view, but it's bloody cold. The wind was coming through. Everyone on the balcony was asking for blankets.
Did you pass your jacket to Charlotte? You know that?
We didn't need it because we were inside.
Yeah, but did you do that?
I
anyway?
offered it, yeah. But then Sunday, woke up, did a bit of... actually, I was with Ollie. We watched the game down at Bondi Public. And
Hey, all right.
And then Sunday morning...
Gee, you loafer, mates. You're hanging with all.
I just sent him a text and he was not doing anything, so I invited him in. But and then Sunday went and bought a bit of furniture and just came back to watch the UFC, which these boys, I think you might have been at.
Let's go to you two
Hang on a
boys.
second. Can we go back to lunch? What was Charlotte wearing?
She's wearing a nice little number from Farage. I don't know if, we're not sponsored by a female brand, so yeah. Nice
could
little,
be.
like a little black suit,
Yeah.
power suit.
Good on her.
Any other questions for...
How'd you go that night? $700.
Oh,
Yeah.
we watched the Wallabies.
Of course you did.
Did you get
What
the
was
half?
she on?
Moving on.
Goit, Swoop. You made it across to Perth.
We had a cracking weekend.
Let's
bro.
hear it. Holiday Swoop. Was he out in full force?
Well, we're in Perthfotein, and plenty of Springboks.
Told you it was Perthfotein. You were
Yeah,
going
he was-
Perthtoria.
Well, either or, they both
Nah.
work.
You just stole mine.
Absolutely loaded with Boks supporters.
Yep.
We went to the game on Saturday. Cracking event. Boys did well. We lost. Boys did well. And then Sunday we had an early start. Talking to you flogs about the game, and then off to the UFC.
Wasn't that early? It was 8 o'clock.
Yeah, oh, mate.
And Goit was... He had to
Yeah,
go...
he's knocking on my door at 7:30.
Well, he was
you're an
worried you were
anxious
dead.
beast.
Oh, but like everyone's worried about you when you go away. So I felt like I had to get some type of response that you're actually going to come on the pod because we had to do it. But always the
Well, maybe
professional
if you just
Swoop
kind of
was
get
there.
out of flight mode, you'd allow me to get in contact with you.
Mate, I was out of flight mode by about 6 a.m.
Right, okay.
And it was a good weekend, boys. You...
No, it was good. It was really good. Obviously, the atmosphere over there was huge. You had the UFC drinkers the next day fighting out of Sunya, so there were South Africans everywhere. Sold out stadium. The weather was probably the only letdown. It was incredibly wet.
That Freo doctor too coming in on
Did
the
it
Sunday.
whip in?
Did it? What
What time did the Freo doctor come in?
Early?
It's usually
About
it's
3,
4 o'clock.
Is it full, Tommy? Tommy doesn't
Yeah.
have a fucking clue. I don't know why I'm asking him.
No, it does. It's usually at 4. I lived there 3
Did ya?
years. Not in Freo, in Cot though.
Beautiful.
So we'd put up a little barricade when Freo would start to blow across.
I see.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of rugby to talk about.
Yep.
We're going to get into it. But before we do, who was... no, sorry, let's do this first. The live show. Canberra, it's selling like hotcakes.
Is it?
It is. Hot pancakes. And
We love pancakes in Canberra too.
yeah, well, is that
That's
why it's selling so
Is that
well?
where pancakes come from?
No, I think they're from Canada.
Fair enough. Close.
10 tickets left. There's only 10 tickets for this show. So
I
you
think
got
you're
to...
lying.
Oh, they do that when you book a flight. It says only 10 left. So I thought I'd do that for this.
Oh, yeah, good.
So create urgency.
Yeah.
Right.
There's only 10 left.
You're kidding. Only 10.
Only 10 left. So get
What?
on. But they're really good seats.
Oh,
Is it seated, Ol? No. It's not seated. So, but
It could be.
Good
if they got there
standing
early.
spots.
Great. You get there early enough.
get there early.
Great seats.
Yeah, and you let me know if it's one of the last 10. I'll get you up the front. So make sure you buy them. It's available on our website, www.kickoffsandkickons.com. Lots of other stuff to buy on there. There's also a Sydney show Friday the 20th. Thursday 22nd of August is the Canberra show. Friday the 20th of September is our Eastern Suburbs Rugby Club show here in Sydney. Get on there. Only 10 tickets left. So make sure you buy that as
Only
well.
9.
Is there
I'm
only
gonna-
9?
Well, because I'm going to buy one for Darcy. I
perfect.
want to make sure he's there.
And Eloise too. But just by the time this podcast goes out, they don't have long, do they?
No, not long at all.
2 days.
If I was watching this right now, I would pause. Then I'd go to www.kickoffsandkickons. Buy my tickets. Only
If you
10
can.
left. If you can. They might be gone.
Smart.
Come back in, press play.
Where is it?
It's at the Capital Brewing in Canberra. Wonderful
Yeah, the brewery.
place.
Yeah,
What a
in
venue.
Fishwick there. Lovely.
And hopefully they someday give us some money for beer to drink on the show. We'll see how we go. This might be the foot in the door that we need. You
Yeah.
never know. Rugby roundup segment. This is my favourite. This is when we chat all things rugby. Obviously, Springboks, they took on the Wallabies over there in Perth. You gents were there.
Yep.
30-12, which, as we said, was a bit better from our boys.
Yep.
First of all, let's get this out of the way. Who was doing the defender walkout?
Me.
Who did you walk out with?
I was
Roy?
with Lamaya Nono, great little 8-year-old girl. It's actually the first female, or do you say female?
Yeah, she's
Or
still
girl?
female, mate.
Yeah, I know, but like, do you call, if they're 8, maybe a girl? Girl, female, anyway. So I was with Lamaya. Yeah, I don't know. Get a little confused there.
Oh, it's confusing.
yeah.
2024, mate.
Yeah,
Confusing.
mate, it's like that. So I walked out with Lamaya. It was great.
Yeah.
Like, she was super excited. It actually made me feel excited about being back on the field, and you feel a bit privileged with the crowd and everything there. It was really special. It was great for her. So, yeah, that was really good. And the car handled like a dream.
I can
Purrs like a kid.
Jeez, he took off quick.
Did he?
Oh, lead boot
Do you
over
know,
here.
do you know why, though? It was wet. So I had to make sure that I got up the ramp but couldn't get on the grass. So I gave it probably a bit too much. Bit of a skid. They loved it. Brakes worked.
Gits is also not the driver in his relationship either. He's just the...
Does your wife do all the driving?
Yeah.
Do you know why? So my wife loves to drive. Everyone, when they see her driving around, they're like, "You're an arsehole. You're just sitting there letting her drive you around." I said, "Well, how often do you see the king or queen drive?
Yeah.
Like royalty doesn't drive."
Wonderful. Just a reminder, Defender remains the major partner of the Wallabies for this season. Wonderful cars. Go buy one. And obviously, big thanks to ISG and the Intercontinental Hotel. They looked
Oh, it was
after
a
you boys
fantastic
over there.
stay.
How much
You
time
know-
did you spend there?
Just a night.
No. I had 2 nights, but the Springboks were staying there as well. So
Did
it
you
was
catch
awkward.
up with any of the Boks?
Yeah, saw a few of them. Yeah, got Ches Dog.
Yeah.
He loves us.
He's the man. He loves us.
Ches
He's
loves
part of the
rugby.
pod. I brought him in. I gave him shares. I don't have any, but I gave him some.
Yeah.
He
Didn't
loved
he
it.
say that he's attributing his form to the pod?
Yep.
Oh, everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
He said,
He was
without you
like,
guys, I'm nothing.
Wait, swoop. Can I get a photo?
And we're like, oh, here we
Ches
go
dog,
again.
Here he goes. Because we bring him back onto the pod again. He just goes to another level again. You know.
Ran to Jesse Creel just
Yeah.
before we were about to check out.
He's only 30, that bloke.
Yeah, he was close. He needed to check out too. He'd been with Swoop by the looks of things. He'd have a
He's
good
all-
go.
He was snake dancing.
Yeah.
And Sia Khaleesi.
Yep. Yeah, we saw Sia and Evan just before we were
Yep.
going out. We asked Sia to head out there with his shirt off, oiled up.
You mean out there in terms of the UFC walkout?
Sorry, at the
Yeah.
UFC walkout. So we were going to our seats. They were going backstage. So we had a little chat to him there. But yeah, I mean they're good fellas, and that's what makes it so hard. You'd love to hate them, but they're just such lovely fellas, you know.
Yeah, they are good people.
Great weekend for those blokes. And every Springbok supporter too.
And us too. We had a good time.
Yeah, we did.
We're Aussies.
Absolutely.
30-12, the Springboks defeated the Wallabies.
Yeah.
Look, we chatted about this on our match review. Few things that stood out was the halftime score. We were only down 11-9. Could have been leading 12-11. Obviously, Noah had that kick. Unfortunately, he shanked it. But, I mean, amazing turnaround for the Wallabies from where they were in Brisbane to Perth. Do we agree, at least in that first portion?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think they're obviously, they're going to keep improving. We've got to remember, as we touched on after the game, like the Springboks, they had 10 changes, but they're still a world-class outfit with those changes in there. They've got the luxury and the depth to give guys an opportunity. They don't look like they miss a beat. They still play, a great brand of rugby. They know their identity and they stick to it. And I think that's what's really clear. For us, we've got guys, we've just got to go through this time where you give our players time in the saddle, let them grow, which we're naturally seeing week to week. They're getting better. And I think that's what we need to ask. And we need to be patient, as a nation. Obviously, keep supporting the Wallabies, but just be patient because we're going to develop. The kids are going to get better. And you'll see, hopefully, by the end of the tournament, you're going to have a better performance.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you can ask for at this point, right? Like, we're going up against the best in the world to make sure that we're seeing incremental improvements, which I think we can say that you can identify that in the weekend's performance. Effort areas, and there's obviously plenty of things to improve and to work on, which they'll continue to do. But I mean, I think the effort areas and they're just sort of starting to look like they're all starting to get onto the same page. And, you only get that through combinations, time, playing with one another, training as well. I mean, they've only spent 3 or 4 weeks with Joe Schmidt, right? So it's not going to turn around straight away. So, but what we are seeing is those small improvements. And now it's an opportunity against Argentina for them to go away, get together. It's always, we spoke about it last week with the boys from the Boks Office, going on tour and what it can do for a squad. So this is the first chance for this squad to go on tour, in terms of internationally, go over to Argentina, always good fun. And then hopefully we see those improvements. There's going to be some, maybe a couple of changes. Hunter Paisami, I saw, he's going to be out for the rest of the Rugby Championship with his knee injury.
So who do you put there? I was going to ask. Mine was going to be a two-parter, not related.
Sure.
But the first one was about, obviously, Hunter, who's been our 12.
Well, I mean, you look at who's in the squad, right? They've got Hamish Stewart in there.
Yep.
He's probably the only 12, I think, because is it young David Fairway from the Rebels? He was in the squad initially, but he's no longer in it there. So, I mean, I think if you look straight away to who's in the squad, it'd probably be someone like a Hamish Stewart.
Yep.
And then, I mean, I don't know what happened with the front row. I saw Slips came off with the HIA, but he should be fine for 2 weeks' time.
And then same with Bell. He was a cut under his eye, wasn't he? And then so he should be fine too. And then Taniela should be back in the side, right?
Yeah. So I mean, it's just it's one of those things. We just got, like Giddy said, I completely agree. We just got to stick with them and just be patient.
Did you have a second part of that?
So the second part was around the team building and being in Argentina. Swoop. You played tests in there. Did you get one, Biv? No, we were in France, weren't they, when they first came in? Or did you get one for... you went for the Waratahs.
No, I went over there. Remember just before the World Cup in 2015?
That's right.
And I was part of the Mendoza 6 that we went out midweek because we weren't playing.
Yep.
And then
who
they all just got picked
Scotty
off.
Higginbotham was stuck in the sauna.
Yeah, Scotty, Nick Cummings, James Hansen, a few of the boys all got a tap on the shoulder from Czech. And
what did the Mendoza 6 do?
We just went out on a Tuesday night.
Which usually is normal because Wednesday's off.
Yeah.
But so
before I went away, that was kind of what the double dirties did, the people that aren't playing. And so we went out and then James Hansen and I were rooming together and we knocked on the doctor's door. And he woke up in his tidy whities, my Cadogan.
Oh, yeah?
Because he said at any point, mate, any point if you want a whiskey, just come in next door. And so at 3 a.m, we thought it was a good time to knock on the doctor's door. Went in and had a couple of whiskeys with the doc.
He opened up?
Yeah, he opened up. And then...
Wow.
and then the next day, I think Adam Fry was doing the classic Wallaby jersey presentation. One of the boys fainted at the back of the room.
Right.
And
he's not very captivating though, is he?
And then it kind of exposed the Mendoza 6, and then basically throughout the course of the week,
Czech was just picking them off.
Yeah.
Making the boys sweat.
Yeah.
So like taking them away from the group.
Oh no!
Bright light on them.
Yeah.
One of the boys got a dressing down in the middle of the field, but everyone could hear it. I got a tap at the airport just before we boarded to leave. And he's like, mate, what are you doing? I said, look, Czech, I understand what I've done is wrong, but when I left, this wasn't a thing. Where I appreciate now it is. Maybe I should have read that little part in the diary in terms of expectations, but I said, appreciate you got to do what you got to do. But
is he looking for the ringleader? Is he hoping someone will sing like a canary?
I don't think so. I think
I reckon he wants to see who will stand up. Like you can't. Yeah, okay. If you own up to it, Czech's pretty good. If you shy away,
really?
He finds out, you're gone. See you later.
Trust is a big thing for Czech.
But does he want you to roll over on your teammates? Is he also testing that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't reckon he wants you to.
No?
Yeah.
But I
he's
would.
complex.
Mate, I roll. Gee, I'd roll. As
the kids
Drew.
roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you in Argentina? Any time in prison there or?
No. Got away. Well, I mean...
Got away with it.
I seem to make it home, but I think it'll be a good experience. Like you said last week, right? Any time away with the team, it's a great opportunity to bond, forge some stronger relationships, and if you get the bonus of winning on the road, just makes it so much better.
Did you get to a winery, didn't you, boys, after a big win when you were over there?
Yeah, we did. I mean, I guess you get all those you get to see the sights. I mean, that's the beauty of Mendoza. You've got the wineries there, the Malbec.
Remember we played golf, I think, at this golf course, and I think also they played polo, on the horses.
Yeah.
Tortuga.
Right.
Tortuga?
I didn't get the opportunity to. I played there for sevens, and that was my first tour with the Wallabies. But I was
Tortuga. Fun fact, you know what that is?
Oh, tell me.
What is it? What do they speak? Spanish in Argentina?
Yep. Yeah,
Tortuga.
you'd probably say that.
Tortoise.
That is a fun fact.
That is so fun.
God, that's fun.
You know where I got that
Clip
from?
that one up, boys.
Breaking Bad. I got it from
Really?
Breaking
Of
Bad, yeah.
course.
So that was fun.
Good show. Now, if you did want more of a forensic look at that game, we did do a match review first thing on Sunday morning. If you go in now in your little playlist and you find the KOKO Match review, you go in there. It's a full forensic. We broke down, I think it was every single ruck and every single maul. We spoke through all of them. Also, boys, did we do all of the lineouts, or was it most?
Oh, we did everything. Send everyone there.
Let's go there.
Hit the link.
Every line out we spoke about, every tackle. Magnificent. Is there anything else from that game you wanted to highlight now that the dust has settled?
Look, I think there's been some good performance. I thought, again, I sent it on our review. I thought Angus Bell was really good, given that he hadn't played for a long time. I think Carlo Tizzano is also going really well in that number 7 jersey. And
Defended pretty well. Was it like 16 from 16?
His
tackles?
last 2 performances in the absence of Fraser Wright. Yeah, I mean,
the effort areas that he provides.
Yeah. I mean, there's some really good performance. I think also Max Jorgensen certainly didn't look out of place. Short period of time out there, but he'll get a lot of confidence from that. Interestingly, 19-year-old debuting. His old man debuted at 19 as well.
And he could play.
Yeah.
Went on to play.
Actually,
I saw him
his old man
afterwards.
was cap number 700, 100 before you. There you go.
Jeez. What was that?
That's another fun fact.
What cap was Matt?
I think he's 984.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Gee,
And Sarah Uru 985.
we've moved on.
We have indeed. Yes, get on there and have a look at that. Gents, we're about to have a very special guest, but before we do, I'm going to move this thing along a touch. Have we got time, gents, to do a quick little match fit before we get to our special guest? Ollie's giving me the 5 signal.
What's that mean?
What's that mean? 5 minutes, it means. There you go.
Right. Love that.
Very good.
I thought it was 5 outfits.
It might be. Have you guys got 5 outfits?
Well, there's only 4 of us.
Very good.
That's
okay,
what I mean.
it's time now for this. Here we go, Match Fit. Yes, just a reminder, our sponsor is MYER, and we are super pumped to have them on board. They were kind enough to get us in store today. We went in there. God, they were lovely. The two people, Miles and
Dale
and
Rubia.
Eloise wasn't working today.
No.
She's retired, remember?
Yeah.
But she couldn't get in.
I feel like though she's taught these two. Didn't you feel like that?
Huge influence.
I felt a bit of Eloise in them.
Absolutely.
And they were good. They kitted us out with all the different.
Who do you think was the greediest?
Swoop.
Is it really a question?
Yeah.
Like, we all had, you call him 2 cats. So everyone owns 1 cat. Swoop's got 2. Like, it's just the type, like,
you got
we
one
got a
last
car.
name, Swoop's got 2.
Yeah.
You know, like.
We had 2 bags. Swoop had 3.
Well, we had our own stylist, and he'd gone in before, and he kitted the whole room out, different sizes for each of us. We're all different sizes, and you had your section, and he was helping us all out. But after the end of that, you just took him upstairs for a private sesh, just in the middle of MYER, just picking stuff off, and he's like, "That's not."
He
for
definitely
sale.
had a favourite.
And so, out of all the kit you guys got, you decided to wear the same thing today.
It's because we're best friends. Is that right?
I think we should get a who wore better. Maybe we can put it up on the poll up on the.
You don't want that, Prof. Don't do this.
No, because when I beat him,
It's so
he'll then force
embarrassing
me off
for
the
him.
show. Yeah, I don't need that.
No.
Let's do this real quick. Who wants to go first?
Swoop.
Swoop, what do you got? Because I'm going to say the same as you.
I'm wearing some Tommy Hilfiger jeans, dark denim. Lovely fit. Look at that.
Oh,
the range,
wow, range.
too. Don't ask me about durability because they're not breaking. But this Maddox knit number, because what was the brief?
Can
it was
I tell you?
Textured slash...
Yes, so the theme is it's spring newness. N-E-W-N-E-S-S.
That's exactly how I feel.
And it's loving the textured shirts. Each of these shirts has a different texture. How would you describe your texture? It's a good shout. Give it a feel.
I don't know. I don't know.
I
would say like a towel.
Yeah.
Terry towel.
Yeah, terry towel. You know what? There's also
Tea-towel-ish?
a little bit of potato sack.
Yeah, a bit of.
Just a little bit Hessian.
Yeah, but couture.
Oh, yes.
Couture potato
But it's
sack.
got the feel of merino.
Oh, it does. It's so comfortable. And I've got the same as you, obviously. I don't know
Yeah,
if you
you
noticed.
feeling what I'm feeling?
I'm feeling what you're
Do
feeling.
you guys watch that 2.5 Men show?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, just
We've got a bit of Sheen
give me
vibes,
that
do we?
vibe.
Oh, you've got a lot of Charlie Sheen about you, son. More the outfit.
I would
Yeah,
say
yeah.
right now Charlie Sheen's doing a little bit better than you. But
You're all...
but you're glad. Talk to me about your texture and what you're wearing.
Yeah, I got a
here.
little Kenji number. It's just nice, comfortable, breathable. Good little texture. You want to have a little feel of this? Yeah. Oh,
Oh, wow.
You know what?
It's
You know
hot
what?
in here too, and lift your arms up. No
Nothing.
pit sweat.
Nothing.
Yeah, clearly breathes. Can I ask a question? Is
You
it
can
a
ask.
T-shirt or a jumper?
I would say it's a
Cover.
sweat, but I don't sweat in it. But you know what I like about it? I feel like anyone would want to spoon with me right now.
Oh,
Like, feel it.
you want to smell?
Goit, real quick.
Very quick. I've gone with a black BLAQ. It's a beautiful number. Breathes well. Looks good. I'd wear this.
Look at this.
Oh, sorry about that.
Go side profile a bit.
Put them away.
These old things.
Put them away.
Have you been lifting stuff?
Just microphones. The last couple of weeks. Microphones and swoop. Trying to get him out of bed.
Yeah, he's been carrying swoop a bit.
Give us a look.
Should I?
Go on.
Oh, mate, it'd be rude not to.
Hang on. Hold my phone.
But what? But why he's doing that?
Oh,
Why he's doing that? Oh wow, look at that.
done
He's
it.
already done it.
Yeah, very
so
good. Now,
moving
our
on to
special
these.
guest is on the line, boys, so we've got to race through this.
Yep.
Very good.
Anyway, it looks great. I'd wear it everywhere. The one place I'd really love to wear it is watching gymnastics.
That became the hot ticket item at the Olympics.
But
Did
that's
you
what
see
I
some
wanna
of the
do.
stars that were there? I don't blame you. Now,
Prof,
that was...
Prof,
yeah.
just really quickly.
Sorry.
We've gone through your outfit, but is that a new
Sorry,
cap?
yes. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is a brand new cap.
Yeah.
For me, and it's from our sponsor.
How many did you walk out with?
Hats, 365. I got one for every day of the year. And there is
No
that.
cap.
They've got that whole section now for bald just in the corner.
Oh, yeah, we'll be able to use that.
Did you? Sorry, yeah, because I went. The guy, they're down there, mate. I went down there. There was a bald guy there that helped me. We hugged.
Yeah.
We know what it's like.
Touched heads.
1 in 10.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant
You know, 1 in 10 men are bald.
Really?
Get it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's
Nah.
10%.
Yeah, so you're a
which
minority.
means- no, it means I'm special.
You are special.
Look at you three there with your hair all
Oh,
looking the
mate,
same.
don't. I
Mate.
reckon I'm half special. I'm
Just
with you.
remember, the women used to queue up in the villages for me to inseminate them. Okay. I'm glad our special guest is listening. He's wondering what the hell he's gotten himself into. What he's learning is we edit pretty hard on this. Joe, if you are listening. Should we bring him in now? Joe, are you there? Do you want to... Are you there, Joe?
Yeah, I'm here.
Face!
Yes, legend.
Put your camera on, face.
Legend.
Here comes the energy. Let
so
us
good
see
to be
that
here,
legend
man. Like,
face.
mates.
Face, have you got a
guys are
camera?
doing a beautiful job. Can you see me?
No, we just got your profile photo. But that's also
Oh,
quite...
that's weird. Yeah, mate. Sorry.
Yes!
Yes. Whoosh.
Jeez, you look
The
good.
Cobra.
Always good.
Oh, mate. Likewise, bro. What did you just stop this year? It's been 10 years, brother, since
I know,
I've
I
stopped.
know. I had to stop. Couldn't find anything else, so went back into it again.
Bro, 10 years. Can you imagine? Like since 2014, that's when we stopped I stopped at Toulon.
Yeah, I know. Things weren't the same.
Unbelievable.
Where are you now, Joe?
Face.
Face.
I'm in Europe, brother. I'm here in Belgium
Belgium.
at the moment. Yeah.
Now, Joe...
My sweet princesses, yeah.
My name's, they call me the Prof. Now, I host this funny little show that we do. Tommy is our little writer. Well, he uses ChatGPT each week to write us little intros and then claims them for himself. Do you mind if we do your little intro? Sometimes they're very polite. Sometimes they're not overly polite, but we will give you his full name in the event you don't like it. All good with that, Joe?
Sure, mate, sure. No
Here it
worries.
is. This fella is a proud Port Elizabethan product built with pure power, sun-kissed hair, and salt water in his veins. Despite being born in a place known as South Africa's friendly city, this oke on the footy field...
Oak.
Oak, mate. Oh, dear.
This oak on the footy field was anything but that. After starting his international career without playing a single second of domestic footy, he racked up 52 more caps for the Bullish Boks and never looked back. Once he retired, much like his on-field playing style, he disappeared for a prolonged period of time, heading to the Costa Rican jungle to realign his mind and body. And here is to hoping maybe next time Swoop can tag along with him. Whilst exploring and redefining who he was, this man grew out his hair and took off around the world in a camper van. So please welcome a man who gave the Jungle Book a long, hard look. He is Port Elizabeth's Professor of Pura Vida and the most yoked yogi in the business. He is our holistic hero and an absolute legend. He is the one and only Mr. Joe van Niekerk.
Yes!
Oh, wow. What an introduction.
And the face too. Like, you left that out. He was our face of Toulon. That's his
Still
nickname,
is.
the face. Yeah, they love him.
We went back there a couple of years ago for the Hall of Fame dinner. Actually, Joe was inducted into the Hall of Fame, and they still, like all the supporters in Toulon still refer to him as Captain Joe. Like, they just love him there.
The one thing I hated about that induction face, that has been Wilkinson got inducted at the same time as you. It should have been all about you. I just wanted a 2 hours presentation about you.
Nah, sure. I was happy to be inducted with that beast, because he's way up there.
Yeah. What's happening? What's going
I'm
on?
waiting for yours, man. I'm waiting for you in the Cobra.
Yes.
What's
Yeah,
happening?
I reckon the Cobra's in
Sure that
before me.
should be happening.
You are the Cobra? Was
Yeah,
that
where does
your-
the Cobra come from?
Well, Joe's nickname for me was the Cobra, just because I had some good lats.
Yeah. Oh no, he's just the beast, when he strikes on the field, he was just unbelievable, So it was like the Cobra.
Joe, first and foremost, I think we need to congratulate you on becoming a dad.
Yeah.
Well done, very good. How's that going for you, mate?
Oh mate, yeah, jeez, it's wow, it's been incredible. It's just obviously there's days where you think, wow, what did I get myself into? But then there's days where you're just in absolute awe. Yeah, so it's my first child. He's a boy, and he's been here now for about 3 months, 3 months old.
And what's his name, Face? I've got 2 questions. First one is obviously, what's his name?
His name is Ragnar.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a strong name.
Now talk me through, what were the choices? Just give me the 3 possibilities. Did you know it was going to be a boy beforehand?
Yeah, we found out before, I think it was, I don't know what month exactly, but we found out he was a boy. And originally the first name that came to me was Ragnar.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, this is it. I told my partner and she was like, yeah, I like Ragnar. And then as time went on, the mothers came in and they were like, no, we're not sure about Ragnar. We think it's too hard. We think it may create, it maybe create something, he's only going to be a small boy. And, if his name's Ragnar, it's very strong. It's very powerful. Mm. And so we were a little bit swayed at some point. And then eventually I was just like, no, this is our son. His name is Ragnar. And that is what we're calling him. And so, yeah. And so that's history now.
And it suits him. I think once you pick a name, then that's generally what...
Also, any son of Joe van Niekerk is going to be an absolute beast.
Yeah, you're talking about being small. He's going to be a legend. Face. They love him. Second part of the question, I want to know what type of parent you'd be. The helicopter parents that follow him everywhere, worried about danger. I feel like you'd be a sit-back, kind of relaxed type of guy. Am I right?
Yeah. I'm more obviously trying to bring a conscious spin to things, just consciously not trying to dominate, but just let him be his own spirit and just let him flow. Obviously, he's not walking yet, so he's actually just started. He's not even crawling, but he can he's got strong neck and shoulders and. It's quite interesting because the other day I went for a walk with him and there was this lady there and she was she looked at me and she said, how old is your son? And I said, he's 11 weeks old. And she was holding her baby. And I said, how old's he? And she said, he's 5 months. This baby was half of the size of him. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And she's like, is your wife still breastfeeding? I said, yeah, she's definitely still breastfeeding. And she's like, wow, he's pretty big. So he's a strong boy. But I don't know, what was the question again? Because
no, it was more just around the parenting. But then I think you answered it. I want to know, at 11 weeks, when do South Africans start lifting?
Yeah. Wait, I don't know. You some of those boys, eh? She's massive, eh?
Have you been across the Springboks lately? The last couple of performances?
Yeah, I haven't been, right on the ball with it.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I know they're over in Oz now, and or they were, and I mean, it's just they're just following on from like World Cup, and then just blooding all these youngsters. I think South African rugby right now is just in like a very, very good place. And yeah, man, like just I think that's been built over many, many years. But what's been happening with Australia, man? Like,
yeah, we don't have to answer that
question.
Boys, I want to ask you, obviously, Joe comes with a reputation full of energy, amazing on the field. What was it like playing with him as a teammate in Toulon?
Oh, it was incredible. I mean, I think, energy. I mean, when he would lead us onto the field, the way that he would just storm onto the field straight away just set a tone for all of us. Like, he'd just get out there. I mean, I've got goosebumps just saying that now, just thinking back and recollecting. But the way he'd go out and he'd just really soak up the atmosphere. And he was just a guy that, like, he'd be so engaging in the huddles before the game when we'd have a final little chat before we go out, and then when we'd come in, or like any time we're in a huddle out in the field, like everyone's just so engaged because he's just he's a leader. He's a guy that you want to follow, and then obviously the attributes that he brought into the game as well, which is why, and I think how much he put into each of his performances, I think was so well seen and respected by everyone in Toulon. Like everyone just loved what Joe did. He gave absolutely everything of himself to his teammates, but also to the jersey for RC Toulon. So I mean, it was a bloody fun time as well, and also some of those bus trips and some of the train rides and a couple of the pep talks we'd get from Joe on those trips. Geez, it was good times.
Yeah, well, I think at Toulon, France in particular, but when you play for your certain area, you're seen as a mercenary because you're given obviously you got the big contracts, you're over there, but you've got to prove that you're there for the right reasons. And very early on, everyone can see that Joe's there for the right reasons. He's running around. You can show he hits his chest, the badge, like Toulon, and he really plays for the city, but he plays for the people, and he gets us around. When I first turned up, I wanted to hate Joe because 2004, we were a chance of winning Tri Nations, which was at the time. And this arsehole scored a try that buried us in that game. And just the way he played, he had a physical presence, but he's very smart the way he played. But when I got to Toulon, when you meet him, he's so engaging. Ass face, he hugs you. And
he's got one of the greatest hugs ever.
I actually learned, that's how I learned je crois from you in the pre-match speech. He'd be like, je crois this. And I'm looking at the boys and said, what the fuck's je crois mean? And they're like, oh, I believe. And I said, well, I believe as well. I'm with Joe. I'm going.
I guess we can reverse that. Joe, what was it like playing with these boys in Toulon? Were they leaders like you or slightly different?
Wow, no, definitely leaders, man. Like just in their positions and just bringing professionalism. The way that they showed up was just like, beyond. I've got like such a great respect for both of them, like in terms of what they brought to the team, to everything. I mean, legends in their own right? So, but I think also I always connected really well with Aussie boys. I don't know, I just felt like their upbringings, the way, I don't know, I always foresaw Australian like mindset as very positive and a growth mindset, and like always looking for the best and always that kind of positive vibe. And so I really connected with Face and with the Cobra there back in the day, and always will. I mean, when I got the call to come be here, I was just like, flip, I got to be here because the energy of these two men, and then obviously Coopsy, and then them together, like, geez, man, what a combination, what a mix. So it's just a great honor to be here today, sitting with you all.
No, Face, it's an honor for us.
Honor's ours.
Yeah.
Mate.
Yes.
I mean, even to that point about when he used to run onto the field when he was our captain. when we went over there for that Hall of Fame, we also got introduced into the field when the current team was playing, and the announcer would announce each player, and I think Joe, you might have been the last one announced, and the same thing. He just ran onto the field. He was like, "Yeah!" Like it was just like.
Oh, you felt like playing.
Yeah,
didn't you?
I was like, man, it was a really special moment. It was really cool.
Now, Joe, I was reading a bunch of stuff about you today, and something very interesting I read about was, so you retired in 2014, and then you dropped out a bit for a couple of years, and you've spoken about how you had the identity as a rugby union player, and then you had to find your new identity. Can you talk us through what that process was at that time?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think when I came to the end of my career, I was always, I got a couple of hits to the ego. And that was like, I wasn't in the mix anymore. So from being like an integral part of the team, and then I kind of slowly got moved out of the team. And that was a very like hard process for me personally. And then also just looking at that situation of not being there anymore, but being on like kind of the outskirts. And then, having to like kind of push yourself through that and then still show up with the same kind of energy. And I think that was a big lesson for me in terms of my own personal growth. And and then just coming towards the end of my career, I just got to a point where I was just like, because obviously all the shenanigans that took place for all the years before that, I got to the point where I was just like, no, I need a fresh change. I need to change up things. And the way that I dealt with it is I kind of just went into kind of solitude for about 2 years after playing. And it was basically just to find myself, and recognize like, what am I without rugby? Who am I? That question, existential question that came. So I went inside, and then for those 2 years, I was just doing a lot of healing work. I went to Costa Rica. I tried plant medicine, mushrooms, like all of those psychedelics, and I just ventured on the inner landscapes and like kind of cruised in that way, as opposed to like just going, the conventional route. And that brought so much, right? In a lot of ways, I took myself off social networks. I did all these things. In hindsight, I probably would have just left my profile there and let it sit, knowing, with networking and things like that thereafter, looking to potentially get back in the game, or looking to add value, or where can I add value in the game again. So, but having said all that, it's been an incredible journey. I mean, now it feels like an eternity away. It was 10 years since I was last playing. So, man, like, do you sometimes miss the game? It's like that contact and that camaraderie, like the camaraderie we have with the boys here. It's just like you can't beat that. Like, and I think that's why a lot of the players get lonely, or they get depressed, or things like that, because it's just like, it's such a big part of your life. And then when that's taken away, it's kind of like, oh wow, what now? So I think for each and every single rugby player out there, I would say, when that happens to you, just, I went the route of looking within and like trying to find like, who am I? Am I enough? Who's Joe without the rugby, kind of thing. And because you build up this identity over so many years, and that can be a painful experience. It can be a death in some sense. But all is good. All is good.
Well, I never really understood it. And when you came back with Jungle Joe, you came back with a vengeance. Everyone loved when you came back onto social media. But Johnny Wilkinson had the same issue when he was looking to re-sign. He was like, well, who am I without rugby? I was like, are you kidding? Like, I couldn't work it out in my head. And I'm like, well, you're Johnny Wilkinson. Like, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And like Joe talks about himself, and I'm like, well, you're Joe van Niekerk. You're the face. Everyone loves you. Like, you're more than just rugby. But until you actually go through it, and once you retire, you realise that it is a large part of your identity.
Yeah. I mean, it's you have to sit in it, and all those, like you say, that camaraderie and that environment, like you can't replicate it anywhere else. Whether it's in your new corporate life or whatever it is that you're doing after. You don't have that same connection and that same bond. And I think sometimes, I think that's, that's where sometimes, whether it's the peak in adrenaline when you're running out in front of 10 to 100,000 people each weekend, it becomes your norm. So, that's where I think sometimes former athletes try to find those highs in unsavory ways or other vices and things like. So unless you're actually really self-aware and you sit in it and you ask those really, important questions that Joe went away and asked, that's where sometimes you can find yourself going down the wrong path. But, and sometimes it can be really confronting because, like, without rugby, who am I? What do I provide? Like, what sort of purpose do I have? All those types of things. So, like for someone like Joe, like, who went really, like, like he just tackled it head on, like he did anything that he did, like, just to go away and this journey, and then to be able to catch up and see him, a couple of years ago in that Hall of Fame dinner, like it's still the same Joe, but like also a different Joe, which is also just so amazing to see.
Joe, it might be hard to put into words, but through that process of going offline and finding clarity on your new identity, is it now that you kind of reflect back, is there much difference in this new identity that you're aware of to the old identity of being a rugby player?
Yeah, beautiful question. I believe that I'm more of what I am, if that makes sense. It's like I kind of feel like the search for the true self, beyond all material, beyond who I think I am. That's what I feel I'm more of now. But does that mean that, I'm enlightened, or in that sense? It means that every single day is another day to continue to work on yourself. And that's the thing, is that when you become more conscious in your life, you start to look at all aspects of your life and bring consciousness to it. And then you're like, oh, wait, okay, so this has got nothing to do with anyone else. It's got to do with me. And all that I see is a mirror, and that mirror is reflecting back what I need to work on inside myself. So, yeah, so would I say that identity in a sense is different? There's still that aspect, and there's still that memory, and there's still, you're always gonna connect back with it. But I think as things have moved, I've definitely moved into a new space of being.
I mean, you talk about the consciousness and that type of thing, but one thing I would say, whether it was Joe, the rugby player, or post-retirement Joe, is he's always been the most engaged, right? He's been right there, he's been present, he's a fantastic listener. Like, you just feel like you've got his undivided attention.
Yeah, you definitely feel valued around
Yeah, that's one thing I would say, like, whether it was when we were playing with Joe or when we caught up only a couple of years ago, or when we speak in those moments between, like, he's just so bloody engaged. And that just makes someone, feel fucking good, right? Like when sometimes you're talking to Swoop and he just like drifts off.
Well, that's what I was about to say. You're talking about looking at the reflection in the mirror. Swoop, stay away from a mirror. Like, you don't need that.
I'm working pretty hard on being present, but it's an interesting one, Joe. I mean, like, I don't know if you experienced this. You probably have, because you are, I guess, well aware and you're conscious and engaged. But I feel like rugby players, we've got an inner voice, which is the voice that you're conditioned to, not listen to yourself and ignore your feelings, ignore how you,
if you hurt or
you're hurt, and just kind of be that robotic performer or entertainer and get through the workload that's required, right, and to perform. But then you've got this deeper voice which is what you just touched on, Joe, which is your, that inner core, that inner self that you probably need to tap into a lot more post rugby.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know whether it's the two voices, or because we all have quite a few voices, but you know what I mean, Joe?
Or the eight that you've got.
Is that something that you can maybe clarify or explain a lot better, so I can actually,
move on?
help me transition.
This has turned into a therapy session. Well, no, this has got to go offline.
In all honesty, though, so Swoop, you're the most recently retired, so...
Well, I am. Oh, no, I'm not.
No, we're still
I'm
playing
still
the game.
Waiting.
I can, you're still playing, right? But you are... So, Drew, you were 2015?
2017.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Swoop, you were 2020?
2021, 20.
Perfect.
You're going good.
Cheers, Joe. Cheers, mate. Okie, well done.
But if we... So it's Oak, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did
I know
that.
that. Mate, I do it for a laugh. Oh, Prof's at it again. God, he's good. Hey, Swoop, so you are the most recent retired.
Correct.
And so, Joe talks about this needing to re-find himself. Are you still in that process, or are you?
I think I'll always be in that
Yeah.
process. Like, Joe just said it. We're always, looking for growth and looking to be better. And you just got to ask the right questions, surround yourself with the right people that's going to, lead you down that path.
Joe, I'd like to ask this because I'm, 7 years going on 8 years retired. And I think some of the questions or the challenges that I faced sort of 2 years into my retirement are definitely different to those that when I was 5 years in, and then different again to where I am now. And so, in terms of like people talk about the transition from rugby into the next chapter, for me, I don't feel like there's an end goal. Like there's no end to that, right? This transition, because it was such a big part of us and who we were and our identity and our purpose, was that transition is just something that's just going to continue to go, and we'll still have challenges that come up from that part of our life, and they might be just different compared to where we're at in life. Would you say that, through your experience, you're 10 years retired now, that you face different challenges or different questions along the way depending on where you're at?
Yeah, I think that it's what you said around the piece around purpose. It's like, how do you find a purpose for yourself? How do you find, like, whether you call it a soul purpose or purpose, how do you find that purpose thereafter, that kind of, to reinvent yourself in a way that you're going for things like in the same way we did when we were playing rugby. I think that's a big piece, is like, because most players, when they come to the end of their career, they don't really know what can give them the same kind of, thrill or passion that they have in their life. And I think that's what it is. It's to discover what that thing is. Because after you've had the highs of playing in rugby and being part of that for so many years, it's really hard to, discover the next thing that potentially will give you something the same, but maybe a bit different. And I think that's the thing to find. I think 10 years down the line, even now, like when I think of rugby, I think of the contact, the camaraderie, the energy of what that represents. It's really hard to recreate that same energy, right? So it's like, how do you channel that energy and put it into something else, and then really make your life around that,
Face, love it. I got 2 questions, not related, got nothing to do with what we're talking about. But did you watch cartoons when you were younger?
Did I watch cartoons?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, but was there ever like a cartoon character that you found attractive, you're sexually attracted to?
Sexually attracted to?
We've all answered this question before. So the prof, do you remember what your answer was?
I
was April off Ninja Turtles.
Who was I?
I
was
Jessica Rabbit.
No, I was Bugs Bunny when he got dressed up as a lady.
Yeah, so one of the boys was Jessica Rabbit, but you can't choose those. But is there one that tickled your fancy back in the day?
I don't know. It was not like, I would not say tickles my fancy, but the guy from the Prince, the guy
from Aladdin,
the guy that, no, not in Aladdin, in Shrek.
Farquaad. Yeah, Prince Farquaad.
Lord Farquaad.
Yeah,
Lord Farquaad,
whatever.
yeah.
I think you're going to be on your own there. There's not too many that love him. Okay, so the second part, again, not related, but your favourite rugby memory. Like the favourite game for you, like as a test player, was there one game where it made you feel like, because there's always that one game that makes you feel like you belong in the test arena, or there's one game that stands out. What's your one? And it can't be when you score the try against us.
Yeah. I would probably say, like, when I first came onto the scene, I would say maybe around 2000, 2001, 2002, 2002, I really started to just feel the flow and get into it. And I remember a match down in Durban against All Blacks. We lost that test match very slightly. It was that test match where the guy ran on and he connected the referee. You remember that one?
Oh, yeah. I do remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, yes. That was just like, when, everything's going and you just, even with that, the antics of what happened, that was just like...
You're in your flow, in the face.
In the flow, man. That's just the best there.
Joe, we're running out of time here. Are you pressed, or have you got a couple more minutes for us?
For you guys, for sure.
All right. I wanted to. Well, why don't we ask you guys the same question you just asked Joe? When was the test match or the game where you went, geez, I belong here?
Oh,
Gits?
Mine was 2004. Like, it was clear for me in Twickenham. Stephen Larkham got injured. So, like, before that, I'd just come off and I'd play 20 minutes here, 10 minutes, maybe start against an easier opposition. So you never really felt like you could impose yourself in that test arena. But it was 2004 at Twickenham, the end of our tour. Stephen Larkham got injured the week before, but he hung around to give us, he was like our backs coach to help there. Elton Flatley was 10, I was 12, or maybe I was 10. Anyway, Flats got injured early. I moved into 10 and we ended up winning. And I had a hand in helping us, guide us around the team, and I felt confident. Felt like I actually could add the same way you do at Super Rugby. So I feel like at Super Rugby, when you can make an impact there and you can make that same impact at the test arena, that's when you start to feel like you could belong. So that was definitely my one.
Mine, I don't know if I felt like the game where I felt like I could actually be at this arena and at this level was probably my first start for the Wallabies, which I think was my third test. I was starting at fullback against the All Blacks here in Sydney. Tana Umang was the captain of the All Blacks, and he was naming me in the press saying, we're going to pepper this young guy at fullback with high balls all night. I was like, I went out there and I faced the haka, and it was the first time in a senior level game that I faced the haka and the anthems, and it was about 20 minutes in. We had a centre field scrum, and we ran the OI to the left, and I went through and I palmed Dan Carter. See you, mate. And then sort of stepped the fullback Mills, and then Jerry Collins tackled me from behind, which actually helped me because then we both slid over and I scored a try. But then I went back to halfway, and it was almost like all those anxieties and those nerves really it just hit me at once, and I just vomited at halfway, and I just thought, now I can actually relax in this position.
So it had nothing to do with the lactate, or
well, no, I don't think at that point, but I think I just bottled up and suppressed all these nerves and this anxieties around whether I could match it at that level, and then I felt like just being able to have a moment like that in that arena, like it kind of just went, okay, now you can just calm into your position and be confident that you can actually do something at this level. So that was probably mine.
Yeah. Mine was 2007 against the All Blacks. I mean, even though I debuted in 05, I'd played a series of Australia A games in 06, and I'd started a couple of games prior to this test at the MCG in Melbourne, 80 or 90,000. So it was the first start against the All Blacks, and there was a little bit of controversy around my selection. Drew was kind enough to forego his starting position to sit on the pine so I could have a bit of a crack. We ended up going on to win that game. I scored a try, but just after that, the fact that, it was in front of a huge audience. It was against one of the best teams in the world. I got some meat.
You beat some defenders in that try too, didn't you?
Yeah, just 4 or 5. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I guess it was that moment where you kind of go, okay, maybe I do belong here. And then since then, once you start to believe, obviously it's a very powerful tool, right? Things started to progress for me.
Now, Joe, off the back of, those moments, we like to do a thing here on the pod called start one, bench one, drop one.
Easy. This drop is easy.
Yeah,
I know who is dropping.
You can't lead anyone into it. It's cheating.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
sorry.
Out of the three of us, Adam, Ashley Cooper, myself, and Face, you've got to, and it doesn't matter about position. You can only start one, you have to bench one, and you have to drop one.
Oh, that's harsh.
Yeah, start with the dropping. You got to start with the. Or you can start where you want, but I think we know who's getting dropped.
Okay. Oopsie.
No, you got to say.
Swoopy dropped.
Yep.
Knew it. We saw that coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
Face starting.
Yes.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Is that why you invited this bloke on?
Yeah, no, but see, that's why. See, I reached out to him.
Oh, well done.
Yeah.
Very,
well done.
very good. Now,
No,
Joe,
Swoopy.
Yes! I still know you love me.
you got to find an old
I think
Bordeaux
it's just because I
terminal.
played with them.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, of course.
Mate, don't worry about his feelings. Who cares? Shit on those.
It's all right. We've got a guy from Bordeaux coming on next week anyway.
Now, Joe, I read a bit about you wanting to get into coaching, but more about coaching young players about becoming human beings almost, rather than just seeing themselves as rugby players. This might be a nice spot to almost, wind this up. What would you say to these young kids that are coming through 21, 22, 23, so that when they finish up, that their transition into not being rugby players is smoother?
I think this is a loaded question. I believe for me it would be having a really powerful mentor in your life, someone that you can trust, that you depend on, probably a male figure that you can look up to, someone who's leading their life in integrity, and someone that as I said, that you can rely on and trust. And I think that's having that kind of human in your life can really help you when times get a little bit difficult, because as we all know, it's very up and down within that field. And so I think having a really powerful mentor in your life is extremely important. And then, once the boys come to the end of their career, obviously preparing them for that. But that's why I tie it into a mentor. I think that's crucial. I never really had that growing up because my father passed away when I was 14 years old. So I know what that means to me. And I don't know about you guys, but having that integral figure in your life, I think backing you, supporting you, and also being a man, being that kind of figure in your life, really, I feel would make a big difference in any young player's life, growing up and playing the game.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Very good. Because Joe, and just while we're on here, I was having a little look at your website today, because you do these. Is it like a mindfulness workshop? Did you want to tell us a little bit about this?
And how they can find you.
Yes,
what the
that's
website
what I mean.
is and everything.
Yeah.
Give it a plug. Go for it, Faith.
Yeah, sure. Well, the thing really around it, it's more kind of lifestyle. Obviously there are very many different healing modalities, and I think that we all carry wounds from our childhood, and I think that's part of my process, is helping people find new perspective, new awareness around their lives. And obviously I use different healing modalities. The big thing that drives me is working in teams, though. And so I've been really thinking about how can I bring this to teams, and say, as an example, how can we become better as a team, but better as individuals, human beings, more integrated, more whole. Because as we all know, like Poopsie spoke about this before, but it's like we're kind of machines, when we're in that, and then we're not always seen as human beings. And I think that human beings, obviously, we have emotions, we have things that come up for us that we don't always know how to process and deal with. And I think that also that stems back to our childhoods and how we were brought up. And so really looking at how can we get the absolute top performance out of a team, but also each individual, so that we have a more whole and more integrated human being by the end of their playing days, as opposed to the opposite of just becoming a machine that is just I've got to perform and that's all that it's about. Obviously, we all know there's each one of us has a private life that we things go on, things happen, traumas and so forth. And so it's really looking at, like, I think if I could say what that position, there's not really a position like this at the moment in rugby that I foresee it's like the guardian of energy. Like like when a team's playing really, really well, why does that performance go down? Okay, yeah, we could say there's so many different variables as to why a team starts not performing, right? It might be the coach, it might be the players, it might be specific things that they're not doing in terms of technique, training. However, if you go even deeper than that, then you find the human being, and then you look at, like, okay, so what's happening on a personal level? a lot of the players don't have that space to be able to be like, okay, they can just drop anything on the table. Like, oh, this weekend, you know, I had a huge argument with my wife and we almost got divorced or whatever, you know, things like that where players don't have spaces to process those things. It's like giving them that space and then looking at the bigger picture of like how that team can perform at its optimal level and continually, consistently do that. And when they do have dips, like what's going on, what's happening. So I think that's something which I'm really, really passionate about is like, how can we be the absolute best versions of ourselves related to all aspects of our life? So like emotionally, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, as well as physical health. How can we kind of, all those things are connected, right? But like, how can we bring those things together and then share those things and then become a team that is just like totally integrated and you know, performing at its absolute best.
I feel like we should do one of these trips on our off season. Us seven here.
Yeah.
I think so. Definitely, we need to help Hugo.
Yes.
And Ollie. These are Joe. There's Ollie, Tom, and Hugo. Our production staff need your help.
Where do they find you though, Face? Like,
Yes.
give yourself a plug. Like, what's your website?
Oh, cheers, brother. So yeah, it's so on obviously that Jungle Joe is still there. I tried to
on
change
Insta.
it, but
No, you keep in.
there's no names left, so I stuck with the Jungle Joe. But yeah, just in my bio, brother, there's a link to a website. Anyone that wants to reach out, more than welcome. But as I said, like, I don't know about you boys, but like, I just love the team aspect, you know, like being involved with teams. I feel like that vibe, like I was just recently at the Olympics for 2 days and I was at the Stade de France.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, we played those finals. We played those big finals at Stade de France. And man, the way that the energy, I don't know, man, it was just like, I just felt this energy around the stadium and being there and like in it. And yeah, and just that passion that I have for that. Like, so, man, like if I could somehow work my way in there, but like in working with that and like top performance, but also like just the individual and then the team, man, it would be top notch.
Yeah. He'd had plenty too.
We need to speak.
Any team would go a long way, you know, to have that type of influence.
Well, are you guys not talking to Phil Waugh or Joe Schmidt here? Can't we imagine South Africans win?
I know,
win.
but like I love Face.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if I could trust him. He'd pass it back to the South Africans.
What I was gonna ask you that question, man. Like, you know, your like Aussie rugby at the moment, like, you know, are they not getting the advice from like the guys that have done it? You know, like plugging into like the skills of yourself, Face, like, and you know, like just connecting with you guys and like saying like, guys, you know, why are we in the state that we're in? And like, because I'm sure that it's not just the surface level thing. It's deep down, like it's been happening for years, right? Like Australian rugby used to be like so powerful and like one of the top. And so it's just it's disappointing to see how that's happened. But like, also, obviously, that's life, right? Like you can't always be on top. You have to rebuild and go through. But I was curious to know, like, are they asking those questions? Like, I mean, you got a guy like Phil Waugh, right? But like, are they kind of pulling the boys in and saying, hey, like, how can we fix this? How can we get this better? Or is that just...
No, I think at the moment, I think probably... what they're trying to do is probably simplify things a little bit and not have so many different voices to confuse the guys that are in there. And, you know, that's one thing that I think Rugby League do really well in the State of Origin, right? In New South Wales and Queensland State of Origin teams, bring in a lot of former players in and not necessarily to coach, but also just to be around in meals and in and around the inner sanctum at team hotels. But, I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for them as to why they don't do it, but I think it's probably, you know, there's certainly, you know, former players that would have a lot, you know, I think like, someone like a Wycliffe Parlow being in around the group, you know, would have a big impact. And you know,
is there
yourself.
Any of that? Is there any?
I think for short periods, probably only a couple of days here and there in camp and stuff, but not for you know. I mean, you look at South Africa, they've got Dwayne Vermeulen like straight away. He retired last year and he's already part of the setup. Like, there's probably just not as much of that. But to that, I guess to my point at the start, maybe it's at the moment they just think because of everything that's gone on in the last number of years, and more specifically last year, that maybe they see the idea of simplifying it and reducing the number of outside noises or voices.
There's a bit of that because you need alignment as well. So, like, if you come in for a couple of days, you're mainly just passing on the coach's messages. You don't get to know the player. I think there's a couple of players that maybe I think every ex-player would be happy to invest in these players to help them find their place. Like, just be an ear. Like Joe was talking about, you share your problems where there's no judgment. A problem shared is a problem halved. So as an older player that's been there, you're happy to help them out. But it's also, from a rugby point of view, you need to be aligned with what the messages are with Joe Schmidt. So I think it's got to be a conscious effort from Australian rugby to pick a core group of players that are actually going to be there for that year and a consistent voice that they know players can turn to and get advice.
Do the young guys ever reach out to you? Like, does Noah Lolacia ever
Yeah, I
reach
mean,
out
I
to
worked with Noah at the Brumbies early on, like the academy. He was 12 at the time, and I spot him out. He's a talented kid. But I think as far as consistently doing it, probably not. It's probably something that, even from an ex-player's point of view, something that we need to be a bit more active doing. But also, you don't want to... You feel like a flog when you're like, oh, you want advice from me? Like, you know better as well. Yeah. So you almost wait for that reach out. And then I'm sure majority of players are happy to help. And we want to see this team succeed. We want to see them be, the best in the world, pushing for World Cups and being successful. So I think everyone's here to help. But it's not as simple as that, I don't think.
No. Sounds like Joe needs to come in, restructure the whole thing, and give you guys some cash paying
Report
bills.
back to me.
Yeah, sorry, report
give
back
me
to
the cash. he gives his time, I take the cash.
Perfect. Works perfectly well. Hey, Joe, thank you so much for joining us.
You,
it has been an absolute delight to meet you. You should have said the whole room in here is just captured, just listening to what you're saying.
I mean, like,
guardian of energy in here.
Yeah, that's it. The guardian of energy. Get that on a business card, face.
Yeah, that's your bumper, right there.
Actually, what we should do now is quickly check if the Instagram handle Guardian of Energy is available.
Ollie,
here you go.
Goes out.
I think, I mean, I haven't tried that one, but
I think keep Jungle Joe because we've given it a shout out, but underneath the Guardian of Energy.
Yeah.
That way it doesn't matter if it's copyright or anything.
Well, what we can do is we can sign up now and then sell it back to Joe.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
Yes, brothers. Yeah, so no, I just want to say it's so good being back here, seeing you all flipping, amazing what you're doing. I love this kickoffs. It's such a good vibe. You guys have got a vibe going, and it's just awesome. Couldn't think of 3-4 better men. To do it, so thank you so much.
There's 7 of us, but 6 of them are good. We don't like Hugo. He's an asshole.
Well, funnily enough, Joe, and we've been just chatting about this today, there is a slight movement to try and get us up to Europe for the spring tour. So we'll get into this a little bit in a sec. If you're still in Brussels, that's not too far. Swoop, is that just a train ride for London?
Yeah,
Can we get there pretty easy?
Yeah, it's a stone throw.
I reckon getting home's going to be hard.
Might have to go across and see Jungle Joe.
Yeah.
That'll be a lot of fun. Joe, thank you so much for
joining us. You guys will
us.
never leave Belgium, but
How good would that be? And good luck with everything. We got to get on this website, boys. You got to have a look. We lost half the day to it today. It's fascinating stuff. Thank you so much for joining us.
Give little Ragnar a little fist pump for us.
Yeah.
Jeez, all the love to you all, legends. Have a beautiful day.
Thanks, face.
Thanks, face.
Well, there you go. I don't know about you blokes. I feel good.
Yeah.
Great.
He does have great energy. And
Man,
that name,
I might run home to Canberra.
the Guardian of Energy.
Mate, I
Can I do it?
Watch you run home to Canberra. That's
I think I could do it.
I think you could too. Hey, we did just mention that chat about us going to Europe.
Yep.
We often get, people saying come up to the UK. There's a lot of people from the UK that watch this show to do live shows up there. Obviously, the Wallabies are going for the spring tour.
Grand Slam tour, which is very rare.
Yep.
What a great time for us to go up there. But it's obviously expensive. Let's get pretty honest people here.
Yeah.
Cost a shit ton.
Yeah.
We've got to work out whether it's financially worth it for us.
Aussie dollar
That's
against
right.
the pound.
Yeah, it's not great.
Which means we'll need double of what we're
Yeah,
asking.
you beat double.
Yeah, perfect. So, in order to work out whether it's worth us going, can you, if you are from up there and you would come and watch us do a live show, can you go into the comments and either say where you would come and watch us? So it's either London, Edinburgh, Cardiff, or Dublin. They're the 4 spots we're going to hit. just go on there, write the city you'd see us in, or even just put the flag of the country
Yep.
of the place you'd come and watch us. We'll then sort of work out, is it worth the mass? Obviously, you're an expensive guy.
Yeah, if
Your
they don't
time
put
is
a flag
valuable.
in,
All
then
mate.
Yeah.
they don't get the holiday swoop.
You know what
It's
I
as
reckon,
simple
though?
as
If we do 2 weeks over there doing a few live shows, we're definitely going to have to go back home via Belgium to do a bit of self-healing after we get
Don't
holiday
point at
swooped.
me, mate.
Book us in, Joe. Book us in. All right. Hey, the other big game of the weekend was obviously the Los All Blacks taking on the Los Pumas.
No, it's the Win All Blacks.
The Win All Blacks taking on, the Win Easily All Blacks taking on the Los Pumas. 42-10. They got it done there at Eden Park. As we said before, the Garden of Eden, 30 years in a row.
Yep.
You know who they... it's free.
Yeah.
It's free.
Yeah, we've done that.
50 tests.
Yeah,
That was
the
the 50th,
50th.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wow.
Razorback.
It is it's an impressive stat.
I'm coming to you on this, Gits. I
Yeah.
want to hear a very quick breakdown of this game.
Very quick, day one.
Not that quick.
Yeah. No, I thought they started well, which gave them confidence playing at home. I think that's what they needed, obviously, after last week. Anytime they lose, they're under so much pressure to perform that next week. Starting well, playing with a lot of confidence. I think they got to a 14-3 lead very early, and then they were able to build. At halftime, 35-3.
Yeah.
Damien McKenzie looked a lot more
Well,
at home there.
To your point around confidence, right? Like Damien Kenzie's been under a fair bit of scrutiny, more so from the outside, and people having their opinions. But he just like almost like he parks it and just still goes out there and plays what he sees. And I think the time spent with him at 10 is starting to pay fruition, because with Geordie at 12, Bowden at 15, it just looks like those combos are really sort of starting to fire for them. And their attack was absolutely on.
Playing the All Blacks is one thing, but playing the All Blacks after a loss is a
And at
completely-
Eden Park.
Yeah, right. The All Blacks, I reckon they've got the best loss response game in the game.
Yeah.
Don't know how you put that into an acronym.
No, but I like it.
They just go to a new level.
Absolutely. Will Jordan back in the side. Are they their best two wingers? Do you reckon Will Jordan and Caleb Clark?
Yeah, oh. I mean, it's
Sever
tough, right?
Reece
Like
is
Sever
a
Reece is
beast,
great.
Yeah.
I mean, Will Jordan, he just knows. He's just got this really high game IQ. He just puts himself in a position. I mean, you could probably argue that the other guys maybe physically have got more weaponry. Like Caleb Clark and Sever and these guys. But
Weaponry in terms of
You've
physicality-
also got Mark
physicality,
Talia
yeah,
as
I'm
well.
talking
Yes,
about physically, but when you
Don't leave Talia out.
Yeah, no,
That's what I mean,
Talia.
right.
I mean,
So many players.
his ability to break tackles and his footwork and his pace, but then Will Jordan, I just think his game IQ. I think it's almost a little bit like Ben Smith back in the day, and whether he was playing at 13, wing or fullback, he just also had an understanding of where to be. And
with Will, you know what he does really well?
what is it?
Just carries the ball in two hands.
Yeah.
Which is effortless.
Yeah.
He does it at speed, makes really good decisions. I mean, for a winger to do that,
It's
big
tough to
plus-
try and fit those four into the two wing positions, right? Talia, Sever Reece, Will Jordan, Caleb Clark.
Yeah, but I mean, well, that's a problem.
Can we
No,
not,
of course.
could we not spend some time and try and get a couple for the Wallabies? Is that not?
No, mate.
How long does that take?
How long have we been saying? Be patient, Prof.
Yeah,
We've
you're-
got the
you're-
guys.
You're part of the problem, mate.
I'm sorry.
he is,
You're
isn't
right.
he?
No, but they were good. They were up 35-3 half time. The game was over. Second half, not as convincing, but they didn't need to be. I think
Combination's starting to click.
absolutely.
Would you
They've
say
got
the-
South Africa next.
Oof, that'll be a good couple of games.
Absolutely. Let's talk Los Pumas quickly. Obviously, they moulded the game that they wanted in the first game in Wellington, played their game. No scrums, not much set piece, nice and quick. Obviously, the All Blacks completely flipped that the second week. Where does this leave the Argentinians?
Well, I mean, I think initially it's also like their growth is, they've clearly got the capacity to play a really good game. They've been getting these scalps, whether it was England at home and, at Twickenham last year or the year before. They've got New Zealand a number of times now, but it's, to your point, it's backing up, like week to week after a really strong performance. And it's also what we've had in Australian rugby for a long time is we'll have a great game, everyone starts slapping on your back and you start to believe it, and then all of a sudden you go out and you play poorly the next week. So that's just the growth area for Argentina moving forward.
And obviously, we go to Argentina to take on Los Pumas in 2 weeks' time. So we'll give you a full preview next week. And will there be a cheeky little Swoops holiday hotspots next week for Argentina? Can you do that for us?
Maybe.
Maybe. A couple of barbecue joints, do you reckon?
Potentially.
A couple of empanadas.
Empanadas. What else do they do? They do the cots, the ribeyes.
Yeah, they love their
do,
meat, don't
mate.
they?
Good meat.
No, is it you after sirloin? Is that what you're after?
Oh, all of it.
Rump.
I think that's what it is.
I'll take your rump.
All right, very exciting. The TRC, we are now, that's 2 games down. Springboks, they're 10 points, 2 wins. New Zealand, 1 win, 1 loss, 5 points. Argentina, 1 win, 1 loss, 4 points. And the Wallabies, 2 losses, 0 points. Lots of time to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
4 matches, lots of time to play. Now, gents, we are running out of time. We have another sponsor.
Oh, go away, these
I know.
sponsors.
It's
They're everywhere.
Success. Success is a pain in the ass.
Oh.
Absolute
Go
pain
on,
in the
who
arse.
is it?
Who is it?
Who is it?
So what happened was, if you saw the episode in Canberra, Drew revealed his biceps, which are epic.
Yeah.
My friend,
Yeah.
carved from granite.
Yeah.
But on the back of that granite, there's a little bit of moss.
Oh. Yeah, it's not being tended to.
Yeah, we're all there.
Yeah.
You should see my back. It's horrible. Manscaped came on board. Manscaped.
Yeah,
They
you really
provide-
shouldn't have said that about the back.
Yeah, I know. I regret
No,
that.
what's going to
I
happen?
know where this is going.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
no.
who is it?
We'll do that
Your
next
neck,
week.
your back. You know the rest.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So what they would like us to do live on the show is give a demonstration with Manscaped onto your chest.
Chest,
Oh.
hold on. I thought you said arms.
Yeah, we're going to do the chest.
You
So-
can't just spring that on someone when they're not prepared.
Oh, he's preprepared.
Is he?
Yeah, I told him about this.
You're
Well,
kidding.
being prepared means just not doing anything for the last 3 months.
You've got one of the greatest snail trails that man has ever seen. And today, Swoop, if you don't mind, could you do the
I'd love
honours?
to. I've just thought of the segment name.
What is it?
Backburning by Biv.
Oh, the BBB.
Yeah, no, actually, Backburning brought to you by Biv.
Now, let me talk to you this.
Jesus,
They
5B.
have sent us, thank you, Tommy. Please keep your face off camera. So they have sent us the Beard and Balls bundle featuring the Lawnmower 5.0 and the Beard Hedger. It's a trimmer for the money maker and for your boys
Your
downstairs.
balls.
Which, yes, I
Well,
believe it is
thank you.
the dusters or the orchestra stalls, as they like to call them. Now,
The deodorant.
yeah,
your
there
anus.
is- yeah,
Okay.
That's a go.
Actually, Gits came to my place this morning after the red eye from Perth, and I was like, you know what you need, son? A bit of ball deodorant.
well, Manscaped gets.
I had a bit of pong. Yeah.
Well, he was trying to do the button face submission. I was like, mate, you need ball deodorant.
Yeah, and after you run home today,
I didn't
then
know
you
about
see
the sponsor, so I said sorry. Went out a shower. Imagine
Now-
if I had Manscaped.
Now, can I just get a bit of clarity here?
Yeah.
Is it his chest or his nuts?
Chest, please.
His wheels.
Well, you can.
I'd love to do. Oh, mate.
Depends on how
Let me
far you
do
wanna
one
go.
wheel.
Now, while
Anyway.
you're doing this, why don't you do a little W for Wallabies on his chest? A little
Yeah.
something like that.
Hold on,
W.
hold on. Look, have we got the wide shot here? It's fine.
Yep. Just take the top
Look,
off.
I wasn't sure that we're going to. I didn't get a heads up
Now,
about this.
while
Yeah, he's
And,
not prepared at
Can
all.
I start with your nose?
hold on.
Come out.
now
Let
while
me,
you
let
are
me get this up there.
while you
Help
do
me,
roaming,
ears.
Hang on, wait. Shut
Okay,
up.
so,
I've
well-
got to concentrate here. Oh, you got a bit up there. The other one?
We're stalling, Swoop.
yeah,
Come
we
on.
are. We got to finish this thing up.
Okay.
Okay.
Bob's kids are
No,
standing
so-
out the front
Yeah, I
of
know.
the
Don't-
nursery.
Just
Turn it off. Sweet.
Sorry, mate.
take your.
Yeah. So look, I didn't get a heads up about actually doing this on the show, and I have a Manscaped shaver at home,
No, you didn't. do
He
you?
did. I saw it.
and so
This
I
is-
just whipped it up. So I don't actually have any.
Show me.
I no longer
You
have
knew
a-
this was coming
I
up.
know.
Yeah,
Well,
no idea.
There's no way you can get back here. You've still got a bit of fur on.
Don't
on the
worry.
back,
Don't
so-
worry. Here we go. That was part of the process. We got ahead of the curve. We did it. So I whipped him up this morning.
So are we removing? Is it a cock and balls?
It's an arrow.
It looks like.
It's an arrow.
If you are-
Can I complete the arrow?
if you're listening to this show, you need to get on and have a look at what gets us. So are we removing the rest of this?
You can remove this, maybe.
We got to keep the arrow.
Yeah. So
arrow's
currently,
important.
People are audible learners, and others are visual learners.
yeah. Okay. So get on and have a look.
Audible learners and bro, come on.
Okay, sweet. While you do this, I have to say this. So, if you go onto manscaped.com, you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code KOKO. So they'll say, is there a code? Type it in. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code KOKO at manscaped.com. This is how it helps the podcast. They go on. They know how many people have typed in KOKO. They then work out if they want to use us again. So, if you have Hugo, good luck getting rid of this stuff out of the carpet. There is hair going everywhere. Oh, God. Is that gone in the chip bowl? Ugh, I think I got some in my mouth. So, yes, go on. Type KOKO, the code, and buy some Manscaped. And then that's all good. Ollie's just coming in and giving me the thumbs up. We're okay. Have I missed anything, Ol?
Man, I'll tell you what. These things are amazing.
Okay. So,
These things are amazing.
So, the last thing I need to say, it's waterproof. It also reduces ingrown hairs, which I know, Drew, you were worried about. And also accidents, which I'm assuming, is that where you lop off a nipple? What happens?
Sometimes you get a little nick on the nose.
Oh, okay. We don't need that. That doesn't happen.
With other products.
With other products. All right, Manscaped, thank you so much for coming on board. Can I get a time check, everybody? My children are at daycare. 5 past. Okay, looks like they're sleeping somewhere else tonight. Yes, mate?
Can I put my shirt back on now?
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks.
Jeez, you're looking all right for a couple of years out of the game, mate.
Few beers in the Doritos. They're done.
Man, that's a great segment. So next week we've got you back. Is that right?
Yeah, you can do my back. Yep. Do they have any sort of industrial strength clippers for my back?
But the problem is, if you like this segment, it's only going to continue if you get on.
That's right.
And take your 20%.
You get this,
Mate, I love it.
You're the best. All right, gentlemen, that was the show. Now, we do have a quiz written, but we are running out of time.
Let's just go with one question.
One question. Are you happy to do one question?
Okay, quick fire.
Tommy's written it. Pick your favourite question, Tommy. Tommy, your hand was in shot then. I'm so sorry, everybody. So gross.
We'll edit that out, please.
Okay. Question number 5.
Okay.
Ooh.
What
What's
medical
the score?
score check?
There
How do
you
you
go.
feel about this one?
Pretty good.
Can you turn that off, please, mate? What medical procedure was performed successfully in South Africa for the very first time? Was it A, ball and socket hip replacement, B, reattachment of the leg, C, a lung transplant, or D, a full sex change on a giraffe?
Okay, quickly.
Who would like to go first?
Question again, please.
Swoop's going first.
Medical procedure performed successfully in South Africa for the very first time. Ball and socket hip replacement, reattachment of the leg, lung transplant, full sex change on a giraffe. Tommy, who do you want to go first?
Gits. Oh, I'd imagine
Gits.
the lung transplant would have been a
I'm
while.
going-
Reattachment of the leg.
That's what I was going to go.
Love that. Me and you are in sync. Swoop, you can't choose what we choose.
B, what would you like?
It's got to be the lungs. Can't be leg reattachment. Leave me alone.
A ding, ding, ding. It is C. Swoop. Lung transplant.
Nice. Here, bro.
Oh, that.
Mate, it's 2024. How was that not performed earlier?
I don't know. No, it was for the very first time they did a lung transplant.
Back to
Talking about
Canberra.
this year.
I didn't say this year anywhere.
Back to Canberra, son. Off you go.
With my leg
He's running.
attached.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the KOKO Show. Make sure you get on and follow us at Kickoffs, Kick-Ons everywhere except for YouTube, which is at Kickoffs
And kick-ons.
and Kick-Ons as an end. Yep.
Prof, just before we wrap it up, should we do a tally from all the...
Oh, there you go. Just a reminder, live show this Thursday in Canberra. Please buy your tickets. There's only, how many left?
10. It's 8 now.
8 now. They just sold 2 more. Kickoffs and kickons.com. Thank you very much. That was a very fun episode. Joe
great.
van Niekerk.
Oh, my God.
Light and shade.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Levels.
Kick-offs and kick-ons. KOKO, we can do it all.
We can. All right. You know what to do, Drew? Oh, wow. That is the best video on YouTube. You know what you need to do now? You need to like and subscribe down there. Or if you want extra content, might be down there, you need to go up here or up here and get more of that gear. Thanks for supporting Kickoffs and Kick-Ons, and we will see you very soon.